The long-awaited Iron Curtain update has finally arrived for Regiments. Regiments is a real-time strategy war game focusing on the Cold War. This new free update brings 5 new regiments, a new game mode, 2 new maps, new units, as well as a wealth of quality of life changes, bug fixes, and AI improvements. This video is going to serve as a first impressions of this update. We're going to head on over to the Regipedia. We're going to take a look at several of the new vehicles that have been added. From there, we're going to head into skirmish mode, play the new static defense mode with one of the new regiments. So, if you want to see a first impressions of all 5 regiments, please leave a comment down below. This game is currently 25% off. And if you like real, nice, easy, slow-paced Cold War games, this is definitely for you. As you see, we already have the Poland nation expanded. And then under that, one of the new vehicles is called the Topaz 2AP Papa Bravo, an armored personnel vehicle. Contains a 14.5 millimeter machine gun. The graphics still look really, really good. I really like this Cold War era looking kind of Eastern Bloc vehicle. I want to see how it performs on the battlefield. Another thing that I want to check out is this RM-70 multi-rocket launch system. As you see, that has that late Cold War Grad feeling. 12,000 meters, accuracy 60%, so that's just going to absolutely obliterate an area, but it's not going to be very precise, and it has high explosive fragmentation rounds in it. The next thing we're going to look at is we're going to navigate over to the Soviet Union. Under the Soviet Union, I really wanted to check out this T-62 Mike. One thing that stands out about this is the Jakezl TL anti-tank guided missile barrel launched. So this vehicle dominates the mid-range battle, as you see up here on the top. Good in open terrain and medium range combat. That ATGM is really going to give you some distance. I mean, all the maxed out at 2,800 meters with a, what's your cannon go to? 115 millimeter cannon at 2,400. That's really going to dominate that mid-game battle as well as that open terrain. And any vehicle that kind of enters your actually area of operation is going to absolutely be destroyed just with that ATGM alone. Also, there are several new vehicles that have been added. We're going to head on over. We're going to check out the new M26 Delta. One thing that stands out about the Mi-24 Delta, actually, if I can locate it, should be at the top, is they fixed these Flagna ATGMs, 2,800 meters. So these anti-tank guided missiles are now included onto this. I believe they were incorrect before. So that's something that stands out to me. We're also going to take a look at the BTR 60 Papa Bravo right here. So this is just a fun 14.5 millimeter machine gun with a range of 1,400 meters. Glad to see that on the battlefield. I want to take a look at it. So that's just a brief introduction into some of the new units. There's a whole bunch more. There's anti-tank systems. There's more rocket launch. There's a self-propelled howitzer, new MiGs, new Mi-2T recon helicopters, as well as like the Skoda 2 Alpha, Skoda 2 Alpha Mike, and several new armor personnel carriers. Under skirmish, here's our new static defense mode. We're actually going to bring that down to 20 minutes. I don't want to battle people for 30 minutes straight. Here are two new maps. You have Fambach as well as Biskunfroda. So there's Biskunfroda, and then here's Fambach. We're going to check out this one because it has the 2 little lakes, and I think that would be a fun little map to check out. The main difference between the two, if I can locate it, is going to be just one has 2 lakes and one has a main supply line. Unfortunately, there wasn't a new operation added with this update, which is a bit of a bummer. So let's talk about the new static defense mode. In static defense mode, you start with noticeably more engineering points, and all your units can entrench, though non-mechanized ones take longer to do it. On the other hand, the enemy will use earth-shattering preparatory barrages as well as strong attacks to dislodge you from your defensive position. If a zone is lost, counterattack it and retake it as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will be gradually drained of victory points. So I think this is going to be fun. I mean, it's fighting overwhelming odds. I'm more of an offensive person. Mastering the defense is an art I'm not very good at. So now let's dive into some of these new regiments. And the one I really wanted to focus on was the 8th Polk-Shklau. I cannot say that right. I apologize. But I wanted to focus on this one because if we hover over it, we get the new rocket launch system as well as BMP-1s and a company of T-72s. One thing that stands out about this one, it's a Polish armored formation relying on mass formations of T-72 tanks, as well as a wealth of lighter units providing capable support. I don't think that's going to be exceptionally good for defense, but those T-72s should at least perform quite well on the battlefield. The other Polish regiment is the 7th Doszacki. I'm going to butcher that. A unit of Polish Marines forced to fight out of its element. It would be wise not to underestimate them, though, as its close range prowess is unrivaled. That might be better if we can locate them. I believe it's this one right here. Under defense, let me scroll back down. This one comes with our OT-62s, topasses. What kind of tanks do we have? We have the PT-76. I'm not really feeling that one. Let's take on our T-72s. Our attacker is going to be a random NATO, random Warsaw pack. We have a defender. So difficulty, we're just going to bring them down to easy. We don't want to get absolutely shredded right now. I haven't played this game in quite some time. So with all that being said, if you enjoy military strategy, tactics, and doctrine and like seeing applied to strategy games, I guarantee this is the channel for you. So make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And let's just wait for this to load. We're going to plan out all our engineering points. We're going to take a look at a few things. We're going to zoom out. So this is what the map basically looks like. I'm assuming that these are our defense points right here. We use the mouse wheel to rotate. We have artillery smoke as well as, what is this? Heavy artillery. Also, there are some new voice additions added. And here is where I'd imagine the enemy is coming from. Enemies advancing from this area. Enemies advancing from this area. Each of these are worth 100 points. So as we fall back, and if we lose each one, we lose 100 victory points. All the way back to our deployment, which for some reason is way off out here. Where's our little arrow? Back here in the back line with our one supply truck. All right, so where are we going to focus? Let's do some observation posts. I think that's perfectly fine. Emplacement, anti-air emplacement, mortar emplacement, or anti-tank. I'm more of an anti-tank person. So we're just going to put an anti-tank right there. How many we have? Engineer support, 90. Ooh, that's a lot. We're just going to dominate. Am I able to place it? Nope, we need to be within these red circles. Right, oops, right there. Facing the road, and then let's dominate this little area. Can we pull up the... Why can't we check line of sight? I figured it'd just be control, or is it C to check line of sight? All right, so this is going to allow us to dominate this middle area, which I think is really important. I'm not going to do too much barbed wire. If I remember correctly, the barbed wire, the enemy would just go around it 90% of the time, so I don't know how I feel about that AI and that decision, if that's something I want to really pursue. Honestly, we're going to do an observation post right here. Not super useful. And remember it said we're going to get absolutely bombarded. So we could do like fun little barbed wire just to see how it feels. How do we rotate this? Probably just click. Right, and we just layer that barbed wire up a little bit. Kind of feels like the Great War Western Front, but I think this is a bit more well done compared. Obviously, all this barbed wire is going to get absolutely destroyed, so we're going to place it a bit forward. Ideally, we would want to shut down any like path straight to that objective, or at least try and funnel people that way. I'm going to put it towards these back lines because I don't want, when they do break, if we're unable to hold them. And I don't think the roads really matter, so like blocking a road, the AI is not going to prioritize that so much. But we can try and create like these little funnels to like funnel the enemy through and try and just create good little pockets so we can kill them from. I think that would be much better. Like right here, we have these little trees. We can force them into these tree lines, which is really going to slow their advance. We have this waterway. Obviously, would be a really, really good idea to block that. And then to block it on the way out. And then we have this little objective right here. We're going to do that. Then let's do some more anti-tank emplacements. I'm not quite sure what the range of these emplacements are, to completely tell you the truth. And when the enemy does break through, I want them to be hit on their flanks. These ones ideally aren't in the most ideal situation because they're just facing head on. And let's just do, we have 10 more points left, so that's perfectly fine. I just don't want us to sacrifice a bunch of stuff, so let's just do right out there in the open, and we'll just do one more fun little barbed wire. Hopefully we don't have to fall back this far, and let's just shut down some more paths real quick. Not the most ideal, but that's perfectly fine with me. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to deploy our units. So let's get our T-72s online over here on this right-hand side. I don't believe this is a company right here. This line, I believe, means company. And we're just immediately going to have them start navigating to the front. Oh, yeah, that's right. We can deploy units in this area. So we have a company of T-72s facing off. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. We're going to put this multi-rocket launch system. I'm just going to put him a bit far back behind the front lines. Is this a recon helicopter? I don't need that. AAA. I'm just going to put him in this tree line right now. And these BMP-1s. Is this a company of BMP-1s? We have a good solid defense over here. I don't really want to split up my forces. We're going to try and just be behind that front line right there. What's that? Just one little platoon. That's all our forces. Oh, no, we have this BMP right here. And we're just going to support our actual T-72 company because we don't just want them to like get absolutely obliterated right off the bat, right? Makes no sense to call in a bunch of T-72s just for them to be shredded. And a little recon unit. Ooh, that recon unit has an ATGM. New task force. We don't have one, so let's confirm. Yes, we want to proceed. So let's zoom in. This is our anti-tank position right here. 9 Papas, 113s. Here's our barbed wire. Should easily be defensible. Let's unpause it. More anti-tank. I kind of wish it would show how they were arrayed when you put them down, but that's just something. Am I too far back? So we know we were informed that there's going to be a massive artillery strike. We have no new task force for another 3 minutes. That's just over here in this lower right-hand corner. We do have a smoke barrage. We are going to emplace this BMP rifleman. So we're going to change mode with X, and I'm going to immediately put them along this tree line. We want to defend in front. It's always better to defend in front, right? When we start sacrificing ground, that's when we make a lot of mistakes, when we don't defend in front. This BMP2 is down as well. Is this us? I kind of wish the AI, the random AI units, were a different color. We're going to push forward. I mean, this city's like our best bet. I don't remember how the terrain really interacts with this area. If we hit C, we can kind of see what everything's all about. Bring it up. So if we come up to here, remember, like we're talking like 2,800 meters for our range. What's our T-72 looking like? So they need to push forward anyway. If it lets me click on one of these T-72s. This isn't us, is it? So it is. We're going to shut down this middle area right here with that unit. So there goes our one company. Here goes our other T-72s. They are a bit more experienced. We hovered over them. They do have 2,400 meters and 1,400 meters. So we need to be at least around like right here before we can even engage. So like right behind our defensive barbed wire, things like that. So we're going to put this company in the tree line. That's going to allow them to close that gap a little bit. Not super excited about it. We do have smoke. We could have used more observations. I don't know why this recon unit has opted to stay out in the middle, but that's just who he is and who he chooses to be. Where is our artillery? That's one thing we need to locate right now so we can assign him to Control 1. So our artillery's been assigned. We can get recon helicopters up, so let's just, I'm going to save those points. We have, let's hit continue. I always hit escape. We have 115 deployment points. I don't want to waste them on these recon helicopters. I'll just be surprised. I'll just get punched in the face, right? Standard. Not quite sure where the enemy AI is. We control 9 out of 9 objectives. Enemy's avenue of advance is going to be directly down this road. And like I said, these barbed wire kind of tends to throw them through a loop. We're 3 minutes in, no first contact yet. There's first contact. Right-hand side, right, crossing that wide open area. Our ATGMs immediately begin engaging. Our other BRDM is engaged with his ATGM. Is that a high-value target, though? I mean, we're immediately going to suppress that dismounted unit. Lots of artillery, so we're just going to immediately call in an artillery barrage. If that unit chooses to navigate right there, we're going to hit 1, hit T, I believe, if I remember correctly, and we're going to just do a counter battery on that artillery. So our T-72s are actually in a fantastic position, as well as... ooh, where's our AAA? We have no AAA up. Oh, nope, there he is, behind the front line, so unfortunately, he's going to need to move forward. Right, I mean, what's the point of having AAA not on the front lines with it's going to allow those if they're not going to be suppressed until they're way out of line. All right, there goes our rocket launcher, immediately suppressing that unit. Let's hit 1. Let's readjust. Remember, we have a lot of dispersion. That's a mobile artillery right there, so we really need to shut that down. Let's just smoke him right off the bat. You can tell he's mobile artillery just by the amount of artillery he's dropping. Is this unit? What if we hit R? Does he reverse? Let's back up to that tree line. Lots of punishment going on right there. Let's move that formation up. We have a new task force, so we immediately need to hit that pause button to make a lot of important decisions right here. So we know they have air support. We know they have artillery. We know it looks like they're primarily mechanized. So I haven't seen a lot of tanks. We haven't really investigated that right-hand side yet. This gives us more anti-tank. This gives us T-55s. T-55s would be fun to play. This gives us an HQ unit as well as another R-70. Remember, that's going to be a major supply drain, these multi-rocket launch systems, so that's something we need to consider. This gets us napalm, artillery strike, lots of decisions to make here. Is that Ardana howitzer? I don't think that's Ardana howitzer. Sewer rockets, I'm not really putting a lot of value on those Su-22s with rockets. I want to be mainly armored. So is it foolish of me to just bring T-55s into this battle? What are these BMPs armed with? And this gives me more AAA and artillery barrage as well as a BMP recon with no ATGM. That doesn't feel very powerful to me. What do these BMP2s get me? ATGM. So this might be the better play because with these ATGMs, that's going to give us a lot more range and more firepower. It gives us another artillery barrage as well as a AAA. So it gives us some air cover as well. This HQ unit, ooh, a T-72 with HQ, we could add more. So I'm kind of torn between, is that a T-80? Ooh, T-80, baby, with rockets. I like this. Let's go Armored Task Force. All right, we're going to call them in. We're not going to do anything crazy. Let's see if we can get these T-80s on the battlefield. We're going to get them immediately up here. All right, now let's do a quick little assessment. We have no real danger over here on that right-hand side. We're smoking that because that's where that mobile artillery is. If we hit one, we can hit T, and we can kind of reprioritize this rocket, our artillery, our RM-70, our, what would that be, Romeo Mike 70, whatever we want to call it. Our BMP-2 is doing a good job at suppressing a lot of things. Most of our front line has basically collapsed. This T-72 is in a fairly decent spot. These are AFVs. They don't look like they're armed with, ooh, that what kind of gun is that, you think? AFV, we don't have any information on that gun. NATO AFV, armored. Kind of hard to tell with that resolution. That cannon does look deadly, but I'm not going to, I just don't want them just creeping up on me right now. So let's just hit space, play it out, see how we feel. Our company of T-72s is doing good. We are reversing, so the good thing about that is we're keeping our front armor facing this unit. Our T-72s are falling in, and now they're exposing their flanks to this BMP-1. Is this BMP-1 ours? That's not our BMP-1. We do have another. This artillery is, this is going to be a major, like, thorn in my side. So we're just going to, I just want to keep him just constantly in smoke until I can get a good artillery going. Like good counter battery. That's maybe what we should have done with. We have a BMP-1 platoon somewhere, and I don't know where it's at because we have too many of the same color on the battlefield. So we're getting some good engagement right here. I'm going to reverse that. I mean, there's no reason for our Shulkas to be engaging that unit. Is this our BMP-1 right here? It is. All right, this is us. I want them right there. And are they dismounted at this moment in time? They are dismounted. What do they have? That's fine. They have Sagers, so they should be able, and they're good, and they're in a good concealed location. So I think how that's playing out is perfectly fine. I want this T-72 just to face. I want them to dig in. We're going to shut that down. That's already done, in my opinion. All right, so we could reorient our T-72s. Let's grab these BMPs right here and see if we can actually get eyes on to this. Like, open that up and see if we can get eyes on right there. I'm going to pull our T-72 platoon over into that general vicinity on that right-hand side. There's a lot of flashing going on. Is that meant to happen? I don't want to, like, start criticizing random flashing. All right, our Su-25 rockets are up, as well as our smoke artillery. How is our, if we hit pause, how are we looking on ammo? You're doing ammo check. He's doing fairly decent. Let's hit space. I feel like he's doing decent. I'm not going to, like, pause too long on that. So first little wave's been held. That's around 5 minutes. I imagine each sequential wave is going to get more challenging. And really where we're going to struggle is just probably on this right-hand side. We don't have a lot of forces there, a lot of anti-tank. What's that flashing? Is it lightning? Is there weather? And like I said, there's that artillery we knew was just, I don't want to keep getting pounded by random artillery, so I'm hunting him out. Where did he move to? We should be getting like an orange, a red circle to show us where he's at. We're going to push forward. Bro, where is that coming from? I'm kind of bummed at that red exclamation point that I need to go way out in my front lines. And there's that flash again. I'm assuming it's lightning because I see a cloud. All right, there we go. All right, there it is. What is this? That's a... So it's a recon unit. I thought it was... Let's pause. What's retreat? What's retreat? Q. It's not X. There we go. Let's just obscure everyone. So we discovered a strong point right there. We have an airstrike coming in. Low. Said air threat low, and we absolutely missed that. Oh, such a bummer. So it looks like they're prepping for another advance. It looks like there was like 6 recon units. A little bummed that I had to go so far forward. So it looks like they're moving. Where's our T-72s right there? Here's our T-72s. Are we stacked on top of each other? Don't ideally. Is this our T-80? Welcome to the T-80 club. We're going to rotate them right there. They're not going to get through right there. You just need to rotate. You just need to rotate. You're exposing your flanks right now. There goes an ATGM to that hidden unit. And it's a solid little hit. So we could, I mean, we could just obscure that real quick because we need to, there's a bit of a development going on over here over here right now. On this side, looks to be a small little armored force. We have, where's our units? Artillery falling on them. Yeah, we need 2 different colors. I'm not gonna lie. I know I keep saying that, but the more I play, the more I'm like, our BMP ones are too far forward of our ATGMs. I don't want them getting absolutely shredded. Did they hit us? Man. Let's try and get that Shilka forward. I don't want them too far forward. So there's that unit that we're keeping eyes on. How's this unit's ammunition? Main ammo 53%. There he goes. ATGM out. ATGM out. Looks like just some AAA moving up on us, as well as a, what is that? An armored unit. We do have a heavy battery, so we could just get rid of that guy. So we hit pause right here. We bring in our new task force. So do we want to bring more more T-72s in, or would you feel with a mobile mortar system? How are we feeling like that? That's going to allow us to reinforce this right-hand side. We really only have 1 multi-rocket launch system active. So let's just bring Armored Task Force Jakezl in. That gives us access to more tanks. Let's click on what we can bring in. Let's get a T-72 crew going on over here. 4 T-72Ms, M1s, 3 or 4. 4 is probably always better. Mobile artillery is going to go right here. We're going to hit space. We can get another group of BMP-1s as well. And we're just going to further reinforce this side over here. Oh, I forgot why I'm not getting absolutely shredded is because we're on, like, not medium. So I think that's fair, though. It gives us like this is like a bad cluster of units right here, right? So we're gonna get rid of them. Our T-80s are going to move to that tree line. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves when doing a first impressions. I don't think that's like the correct thing to do, because then you get these really bad opinions or bad vibes of the game. We can kind of see like, okay, the AI wants to go over here. This is the amount of artillery they're bringing. Because the more I've ramped up the AI, the more it seems like they just bring in more artillery, and that seems to be a lot of the defining factors during that. Also, there's no way to bring in new supply lines, so this guy, once he's out of ammo, he's just out of ammo, which is a bummer. We don't have a supply truck for him, so he immediately just becomes useless. So that's something we need to consider in other mobile defense or static defense games. We do have a mobile artillery right there, and we're just going to move to engage him with his BMP platoon, BMP-1 with the rifleman. Let's see what we can do about that. Artillery's falling on him. He's immediately going to retreat. And easy may have been too easy, but it's fine. We don't want to sour our taste with a general, like, over difficulty. Like, I mean, I know I love Dark Souls, but I also don't want to restart 80 times. So, if I remember correctly, we picked the second, not the 7th, but the 6th, right? So this one mainly focuses on mass formations. Let's talk about some of the regiments. All right, the 2 Polish regiments, a Polish Marine force fit to fight out of its element. It would be a bit unwise to underestimate it, though. Its close range prowess is unrivaled. I believe this is the one we brought with us. The 11th Jakezl, a Polish armored formation relying on mass formations of T-72 tanks with a wealth of lighter units providing support. We are the 8th, so we brought the 8th. So this is all our T-72 platoons, T-72 armor, T-80s, Lots of artillery. Our BMP-1s are moving forward. We can get our experienced T-72s back on the battlefield, and I say we move them right up to there. That way, if we continue to... Oh, my God. Look, they're trying to, like, pump fake us right here. We're going to move our T-72s over there. We're going to bring our T-80s up. That's a good frontline push. Good thing we have our ATGM there. We're going to hit 1. We're going to hit T. And we're going to try and shut some of this down. Let's see what we can do. There is a little bit of an air defense. I want to see if we can hit that unit right there. Once these T-72s are in it, we should be able to hit them on the flanks. They're going to rotate, show us their front. Here come their air support. Let's see what they're doing. Suppress panic, suppress panic. There goes ours. That was a good rocket shot. Chaff, smoke, all out. We're going to immediately bring this recon unit back. I mean, look at that. Triple experience right there. Trying to probe our front lines right there. Ooh. Good thing we retreated them. We don't want to, like, just shred that. Recon unit on the back lines. T-80 doing absolutely a ton of damage. So if we really wanted, we could drop a major artillery strike on that just to see how it plays out. 10 seconds. Let's see if they retreat first. They're going to retreat first. Bummer. All right, what do we have over here? This is a tank. Oh, this is a helicopter. Do we have anything with, like, AIM-9s? What are they punishing right here? Let's pull back to that. Let's pull back. Everyone pull back. Right, we need him to get within. So we're assuming he's at 2,800 meters. You're just going to pop smoke and go. Yep, there he is. If he gets any closer, which I don't think he will, he was really trying to prioritize that T-80 platoon that we just sent back. We'll just bring them back out here in a moment. We do have a bit of... This guy still does have ammo. He should have 36%, should be enough to deal with that. So he's not going to push forward anymore. We're not going to do too much thinking on how we want to play this one out. Let's see if we can get this Shika Dana out. Let's click on that, call that in, see if we can get that artillery part of this battle. Put them right here on this objective, and if they are selected, we'll call them Control 2. So with them rolling up, we're going to retreat our multi-rocket launch system. We do have what looks to be a little bit of an assault over here on this right-hand side. Just some artillery. I'm not super duper concerned. T-55s. The only supporting units we have over here are T-72s. So we're going to move to engage this recon element. And we're going to counter battery this with some rockets, I guess. See what we get with that. We're going to move to just engage. We're going on the offensive right there. The AI really needs to pull back that artillery. Our tanks are moving into position to take out that artillery unit. Here come our SUs, our SUs. All right, minimal air defense. That's no problem. T-72 should easily deal with that recon element. All right, I feel like I've seen enough. I feel like I've seen enough to make a good determination. Static defense, definitely not meant to be played on easy, but I'm glad we did so we can kind of feel it out without getting absolutely overwhelmed and allowed us to talk through our decisions. Our T-72s are coming online, moving into those tree lines. Regiments still looks good. It still feels good. I still suggest you pick it up for $22.99 or $22.49. It's 25% off at this moment in time. You get this new free update. 2 free updates have come out. So you have one focusing on NATO, and this one focuses on the Warsaw Pact. New units, all kinds of new things. Let's hit 2 and just check out this new artillery unit. Drop it on this unit that's advancing on us. Let's retreat these T-72s because they're in a bad position. They decided to just drive through the out in the open. And let's take a look at these Danas while they fire. Ooh, that's really, really cool. Still so much fun. So Regiments, a game about companies, right? Or a game about regiments. There's the artillery falling. We can obviously call another little rocket strike in. There is some anti-air over here on this right-hand side. And lots of good little changes. I'm glad they keep improving it, and I look forward to the first paid DLC that brings a ton of new operations. But check this one out while it's free. Let's watch this little rocket attack. A little off target, but that's fine. Suppresses, what is this? Challengers. Ooh, they brought the Challengers to the fight. All right, guys, check it out, man. Absolutely free. Peace.